Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Emotional Fitness. Today I am going to talk about pensiveness. Pensiveness is the result of too much thinking or excessive mental and intellectual stimulation. Any activity that involves a lot of mental effort will run the risk of causing disharmony. It can cause fatigue, lethargy, and inability to concentrate. Our thinking plays a very important role in the origination of disease. There are 4 kinds of thinking: negative thinking, positive thinking, necessary thinking, and unnecessary thinking. Negative thinking makes mind impure and fills it with unwanted ideas. Unnecessary thinking does not let man live in the present. His mind is absorbed in the unpleasant memories of the past or in the pleasant anticipation of the future, with the result his present, his most important period of life goes waste. Both negative and unnecessary thinking cause fear, anxiety and grief and render man ill physically as well as mentally. On the contrary, positive and necessary thinking help in man's development and growth. Those people who do not think of future that is unknown and uncertain and do not grieve over past that is gone forever and are not afflicted by fear, anxiety and grief, such people lead a healthy, happy and a meaningful life. Dr. Bach says, physical health depends upon our way of thinking, our feelings and emotions. Good health is harmony, rhythm, when we think positively, constructively and happily. Ill health is when we think negatively, unhappily and destructively. This is the secret of happy, healthy, rich and meaningful life. Some people have repeated thoughts which they cannot get rid of. Their mind is like the gramophone. If the disc has a crack, then the needle gets stuck at that particular place and keeps on repeating the same line. Some people are excessively worried about the welfare of others. They think only of catching their beloved's attention. They cannot free themselves from their guilty consciousness. Some have distractions due to obsessive thought and they cannot get their mind off them or learn something new. They are obsessed with their thought of their goals and success. Some are always obsessed with the idea of being impure or poisoned and can no longer think clearly. There are certain people who are anxious and their fears make them unable to think clearly. Some people tend to put their ideas into action too impatiently. They are so obsessed with a certain idea that nothing can go fast enough until their idea is realized. Some people cannot get rid themselves of certain memories and they are incapable of thinking anything else. Some people become so enraged or irritated that they are incapable of rational thought. Some people only think of fulfilling their wish to be recognized and admired. Their thoughts are filled with bitterness stemming from an imagined injustice. There are certain people who are so obsessed with a particular thought that they can go insane. Their thoughts are occupied only with a certain idea or conviction. They are one-sided, intolerant, and often fanatical. They are so obsessed with the idea that something bad will happen to them that they are barely able to think rationally. There are some people who have only their own ideas in their head and try to force them on others. Certain people ceaselessly think of a shocking experience or an unhappy situation, while some people's minds are always filled with future plans or dreams. Some people think only of the worries of others. They worry too much, which makes them feel despondency. They have a guilty feeling and feel responsible for others. By worrying too much, they lose their strength. Some people constantly worry about others but do not show it outside. They can never relax or be happy. They may be worried about some kind of misfortune will strike their close ones. They worry so much that they are in the edge of a breakdown. They find themselves in a panic situation. They worry continuously about others and are not able to leave them to their fate. They become restless and nervous, and worrying too much make them feel that something terrible will happen to their loved ones. Some people, when they are faced with difficult situations, then their mind easily starts dreaming and take refuge in dreams or illusions. Sometimes their mind is in the past or in the future. Their mind gets so exhausted they fall asleep or fall into a state of daydreaming. Because they are in dreams, they repeat the same mistakes again and again. Sometimes the people are in a state of panic that they cannot think or act properly and calmly. Learning difficulties. Their thoughts are somewhere, and so they repeat the same mistakes again and again. They have low self-esteem, and so they are not able to face the public because of lack of confidence. They always have fear-inducing ideas, and so they are anxious and depressed. A man's life is what his thoughts make it. The happiness of our life depends upon the quality of our thoughts. A person who is thinking about a worthwhile goal is going to reach it, and the person who has no goal and whose thoughts are filled with confusion, anxiety, fear, and worry will create a life of frustration, fear, anxiety, and worry. And if he thinks about nothing, he becomes nothing. The human mind is much like a farmer's land. The land gives the farmer a choice. He may plant in that land whatever he chooses. It's up to the farmer to make the decision. The mind, like the land, returns what you plant, but it doesn't care what you plant. If the farmer plants 2 seeds, one a seed of wheat and the other a deadly poison, waters them and take care of the land, what will happen? The land doesn't care. It will return poison in just as abundance as it will wheat. As it's written in the Bible, as you sow shall you reap. If you think in negative terms, you will get negative results. And if you think in positive terms, you will get positive results. Some of the Bach flower remedies that can help in pensiveness are red chestnut. These people are always worried about others. They have ideas in their head that make them afraid. Aspen. They have fear of unknown, that something bad will happen to them and are not able to think properly. Agrimony. They worry constantly but do not show it to others. They try to hide their true feelings, so they are not able to relax or be happy. Century. These people are overly selfless and are constantly worried. Cherry plum. They worry so much that they are on the edge of a breakdown. They can even go insane. Impatience. They become reckless and nervous and are under pressure of deadline. They tend to put their ideas into actions too impatiently. Mimulus. Their fears make them unable to think clearly. They cannot suppress their fears and think through the problem and solve them. White chestnut. Repeated thoughts keep on coming and are unable to get rid of them. Mustard. For people who worry about others too often and too much and find themselves with a feeling of dejection that increases over time. Olive. These people have worried too much about someone and have lost their strength. Fine. Their guilt feelings block all other thoughts and robs them of their inner peace and clarity. Rock crows. These people find themselves in a panic and in danger of losing their heads. Wine. Their thoughts are occupied with a certain idea or conviction. They are one-sided, intolerant, and often fanatical. Vervain. They have their own ideas and force them on others. Star of Bethlehem. They keep on thinking of the shocking experiences or unhappy situations. Clematis. When faced with difficulties, they take refuge in dreams or illusions. Chicory. They always think about catching their beloved attentions. Chestnut bud. They make the same mistakes and cannot learn something new because they are so dominated by certain thought that they cannot get their mind off them. Oak is for people who think only of their goals and are always in a constant state of mental and physical stress. Crabapple. They are obsessed with the idea of being impure or poisoned and can no longer think clearly. Honeysuckle. They cannot get rid of certain memories that they are incapable of thinking anything else and have little interest in present or future. Holy. They become so enraged or irritated that they cannot think properly. Heather. They think only of fulfilling their wish to be recognized and admired. Willow. Their thoughts are filled with bitterness stemming from an imagined injustice. They suffer a total mental block. Gentine. They give up too quickly at the sign of failures or difficulties. Larch. They have low self-esteem that they place excessive demands on themselves. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe and press the bell icon for further notification.